All coming, Sherwood, Shinichi, and I are all coming from a strong Buto background, but I think we all have a similar kind of distance to the word as well. We definitely don't want our exploration of dance to stop at that word, because the idea of Buto is in of itself about rebelling against form and constantly being born again.
Obstacles then help us not go to our usual methods. And by not being allowed to go to my usual method, I have to discover a new channel for my body.
How dance is linked and emerges from and is informed by and is in exchange with the natural landscape as well.
Take the full 30 seconds. Your speed doesn't vary. You have a single speed. Now one speed, which transforms from position 1 to position 2. 20 seconds. 5. And 30.
it's about investigation and it's about exploration. So really see where your limits are, and that's another thing, is how do you begin to find your limit, and how do you begin to question it as well.
Just how arms and legs, but see how they're shaking and moving independently, so they're not related to each other. They're all individually shaking on their own.
Ultimately, to discover who we are. If something blocks the river doesn't just stop. Yeah, the river moves around, or maybe it moves over, or moves under. We don't know, but it's got to find its new direction.
Never losing that memory. Giving with the palm.
One stimulation was finished and you're on your way back, and another one starts, and so it's a totally confusing moment because your body is coming back and going out at the same time. So don't skip over this moment. This is a really interesting moment for your body.
Sometimes the energetic is a strong line, or sometimes it's a strong diagonal, sometimes it cuts.
And dynamic can have its softness and subtleness.
Under the radar, under the surface, somebody might be very, just very powerful and forceful and want to exert their will on the other person. And likewise, the other person might be always just like, I don't want conflict. I want to avoid conflict. But if the two people have some kind of mixture where they can really give an impulse, but they can also receive the impulse, then you've got something exciting. You have dynamic, you have emotion, you have life.
I think these are human beings that really wants to discover something new, something in their inside, something not on the surface. These are people who want to get in touch with themselves, but not in a psychological way in the sense of therapy, but to discover also the possibilities of body, spirit, soul, and maybe a little bit crazy people sometimes. You know, they don't look for security, for safety.
A part of what we're trying to do here is to shake up the way people perceive the world. And losing your sight is a very immediate and palpable way to just change your whole way of moving. Literally, it changes the way you move through space. It changes the way you perceive smell and touch and sound and all of that. So it heightens awareness a lot. And there's something something very pure about a blindfolded person. Usually, there's a kind of honesty there that maybe with sight gets covered up.
Because this workshop is really focused upon dancing outdoors and dealing with kind of natural elements, it's a very important tool that we use. Living in society, being human, we tend to be very oriented around the eyes, and using the eyes, they're some of our best tools. And through this training, oftentimes we like to work blind in order to just make sure that there's other sources of information that are enriching our body, enriching our sensation, our experiences, our memory, all of which then becomes information that we can funnel into some of developing images or evoking the sense memory in the body in the way that we dance.
I got this gift in the form of a sentence from Shinichi today. He talked to he talked to the whole group, but all morning long I had been wondering. I tried to articulate, to put together a sentence which would, like, be the essence of all this treasure. And then he said, it's possible to blend in without disappearing. And for me, this is the strongest teaching of this whole first encounter of mine with this country.